What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. Hope you had yourselves a great weekend. Been really busy. I got last week of training coming up for my work, so appreciate you all bearing with me. Going to have another show coming out. I wanted to put it out forever, but got it done. But wanted to put this one together because Eagles make a move that, I really enjoy, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So we're going to get into that real quick. And again, free agency's coming, so going to be putting that stuff out. And bear with me as I'm going through this training, but appreciate you all supporting me through it. And all you're doing, cannot thank you enough. Hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing during these videos, it really does help. So whenever you're watching this, it's going to be a little bit of a late one, a little after 9:40 here. But let's rock and roll and talk about the Eagles' newest addition, Nick Sirianni, getting another coach that we talked about before. That obviously some people are going to feel a certain way because they don't like Nick Sirianni. But this is a guy that has familiarity with Sirianni. He, in like 2021, I believe it was working there with him. And, this is obviously someone we have talked about. If you watch this show, we've talked about this former Philadelphia Eagle, undrafted back in 2011 out of Texas A&M. But we, are big fans in these parts of this kid. And, his quarterback development, he's been a part of some staffs, with Shanahan there that obviously we talk about this, implementing this new style of offense. And, having Shanahan, Mike Shanahan, that is, with Mike McDaniel, Bobby Slowick, guys that he's been learning from, and, having guys like Frank Reich, Sirianni around him, I think has definitely helped. And you've seen his work with Stroud. He worked with him when he was younger, not just in the NFL and like the high school level. So I am a fan of Jerrod Johnson. And obviously, again, we have talked about him in that, spread offense that I think using the zone, play action, using the stuff we've been begging for, right? We want to see some under center stuff. We want to see different schemes used here. And I think that's what we're going to get with Jerrod Johnson. So he's added to the staff. Now, it has not been said what he will be. So offensive coach is what we're calling him. But we've got a lot of other coaches. We'll take a look at the end here, the full list of the offensive coaching staff so far. But still some things to be decided. Some guys that they say are coming back, but we don't know if they'll have the same roles, whatever it may be. But Jerrod Johnson here, I think, is great to add to the mix. Another guy that potential to be an offensive coordinator. He interviewed in 2024. Could have been a potential guy last year. And this year he was another candidate. So we've talked about him for a few years here, and I think you guys are very familiar with him. If not, I'll show you this. But we talked about, obviously him starting with the Niners, Shanahan there, learning with Mike McDaniel and Slowick, a lot of these guys that we have talked about, then going to the Colts and being that quality control coach there for Sirianni for a couple of years, then moving on to the Vikings for a year before becoming the quarterbacks coach for the Texans the last 3 seasons. So we saw he helped Stroud get that rookie of the year, really brought the best out of him. Now, a lot of injuries to the offensive line last year. They sucked. Stroud was getting destroyed. But I think that this is just another mind added to the mix that, obviously we talked about him, but now we don't know what his role is, whatever. But I think this is exciting. I think another opportunity for him to add to his resume and, possibly the offensive coordinator for the Eagles down the road. If Sean Mannion does really well, a lot of people, don't like seeing guys leave, but if they're doing well, that is what happens. But he's here, and I'm excited. You guys can let me know how you feel about Jerrod Johnson. But I think, you guys that have tuned into the show, I've talked about what he could bring to the table. And just, again, some of that mixture of just play action and things that we did not use last year, under center work where Jalen Hurts will shine. This offense will shine if you just open things up. And with all of these bright minds, that Sean Mannion now has on his staff, Sirianni obviously said he'd give him, the reign to do what he wants, but it's still Sirianni's team. So he's going to add some of the coaches that he likes. And I know, again, people feel a certain way, but we've been winning Super Bowls, making it to Super Bowls. I think Sirianni's just all right. One of the best coaches we've ever had, probably the best. So I'm with him, continuing to learn and grow low, but go high and fly. So let's take a look at the Eagles offensive coaching staff here with, Jerrod Johnson added. I don't know what his title will be. They said Scott Loeffler's staying around. Don't know what his title will be, but you can see the guys up top. Obviously, OC, we just talked about, Mannion. Grizzard was added as a pass game coordinator. You got Mahaffey added as the run game coordinator, and he will also be the tight ends coach. Assistant head coach will be Jamal Singleton, and he's also the running backs coach. Glad to see him back. Parks Frazier got promoted. He is now the quarterbacks coach. And Montgomery Van Gorder got promoted. And, we laugh about his name last few years here, but assistant quarterbacks coach, good for him. Moving up and, Aaron Moorhead's back. People feel whatever about him. Look, man, we got two of the best receivers. It's kind of hard for the other ones to shine, so don't blame it on him. Offensive line coach Chris Cooper was brought in. And then, again, they say that Austin, Dickerson, and Peterson will be back. I don't know that they will have the same titles, but once that stuff is finalized, I will let you know. But that's all I've got for you here on Jerrod Johnson and this Eagles offensive coaching staff. But you guys can let me know how you feel about this addition, all these bright minds together. Again, I don't know what his role is going to be because you got a quarterback coach, pass game coordinator, offensive. You got all these things. So another assistant, though. A lot of bright minds here that I think are really going to find ways to bring out the best in this offense. I'm very excited about this offense and the changes we've made. I know there's a lot of uncertainty, but that's okay. Change is good, and I can't wait to see it. So I'll talk to you this week. I'll put out that positions of need video. We'll get into free agency, talk about the best guys that are out there. We already talked about who I think should stay or go with the Eagles. Go check that bad boy out. But you got anything else? Do you have any questions, comments? You need to talk about anything? You can always reach out to me. Whether it be about the birds or anything else, always here for you guys as you are for me. Hope you had yourselves a great weekend. Can't wait to talk to you guys this week. My training will be over Friday, so going to try to make a Fan Friday, talk with you guys. Had a Fan Friday last week. That was enjoyable. So going to keep trying to do as much as I can. We'll see if anything happens this week. I'll let you know if so. But have yourselves a great week coming up. All I've got for you. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe, and join the family. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now, sickos. Go Birds!